exciting news, everyone. I've just launched a new Patreon. There, you can show support for my content, grab additional weekly metagame recommendations, and even submit a donation deck list. Donation deck lists are the most frequently asked question on my channel, and I feel I'm now ready to support this new content. Please check out the rules for submissions on the Patreon link in the description, and thank you for your continued support of my channel. Let's battle. What is going on, YouTube? Special off-stream content only here on YouTube. Vintage time. I've been looking at some lists recently, and there are a lot of very powerful wizards having success with Expressive Iteration. Now, Expressive Iteration, obviously, multi-format all-star, probably one of the best blue draw spells ever created, can sometimes be hard to play in Vintage due to its casting cost. Blue and a red, one being a 2-mana spell, and 2 being a 2-mana spell you can't cast off of off-color Moxen, can make Expressive Iteration kind of a deck-building challenge. Now, there are players who are succeeding with Expressive Iteration. The lists that I looked at were Mog's blue-red Expressive Iteration Murktide deck, Dazai, who is Yuta Takahashi's 4-color Walker's Expressive Iteration Deathrite Shaman deck, and also Thomas Marr's Nox Tom's Deathrite Shaman Luris deck with Bobs. That's also playing for Expressive Iteration. And when I played Yuta's last list, I felt that it was actually quite a good Expressive Iteration deck. And the reason was Deathrite Shaman. Playing a turn 1 Deathrite Shaman allows you to play a turn 2 Expressive Iteration while leaving up your land drop. While leaving, and also if you hit your land drop off of your Expressive Iteration, you can then pass and hold up Flusterstorm Pyroblast for the next turn, which can be very important when you're playing against Tinker and Doomsday. So I felt like Deathrite Shaman was the way to go to make Expressive Iteration more castable in Vintage. So I basically took the 3 lists that I was just talking about and made my own. And what I did was I liked Tomas's Deathrite Luris deck. However, I wanted to try playing Ledger Shredders instead of playing Bobs. Obviously, they don't do the same thing. Bob is pure card advantage, while Shredder is card selection. But Shredder should help close out games. And that deck was already playing 4 Bobbles anyways, and I think Bobble is a very nice card with Ledger Shredder. I also worried about finishing the game. I had some problems with Yuta's list because it was too reliant for me on Strip Mine Wasteland, Ren and 6 being good, and didn't really close out a game very fast. I also think that's kind of true for the Tomas deck where it's playing Bobs. It doesn't really have a great way to close. However, Mog's deck has no problem closing because Murktide Regent is a hell of a Magic card. It is a big old dragon for not a lot of mana. And Murktide Regent synergizes really well with the idea of playing Ledger Shredder plus Bobble. So I am kind of smushing these 3 lists together into a place that I think makes a lot of sense. So we are playing a Bobble Shredder Expressive Iteration Deathrite Shaman deck with our top end being Murktide Regents. I'm excited. I think this is a good idea. I don't know if I'm the right person to make this deck work because it is definitely on the fair side of things, where I'm typically better at playing the combo-oriented decks, but I'll do it my best. Sideboard is a mishmash. When you're not playing Luris, you can play Leylines. I think Leylines are the best option against the current bizarre menace. But I am playing a bunch of hard-hitting Artifact Hate with Fluxes and Sprees and a Claim, which is kind of interesting that we can play Claim off of our Deathrite Shaman. That can kind of hit a lot of random things, like, I don't know, a hollow one. I definitely think you want to play a Tabernacle when you're playing a Demonic Tutor deck. And then I'm also playing a Sulfur Elemental because Grim and Wezzel have gotten to me. I cannot accept... I must murder all of the little white creatures. Can't take it anymore. All right, let's play a league and see how this does. Okay, round 1. Across the tables, the Titty Panda. A classic. Our hand is great. Pretty solid against fair and combo-oriented decks. The only thing that would make this hand better, in my mind, is having a Wasteland in case we were playing at shops. Or, excuse me. a Wasteland in case we were playing against Bazaar. But this is like a very strong hand. I like this hand a lot. It lets me hold up Misstep and Force. On turn 2, I can play Shredder and trigger Bobble. I like it a lot. Like I said, they are mulliganing now. They're mulliganing to 5. I am, of course, concerned. This hand is not particularly strong against Bazaar of Baghdad. However, we are playing 4 Wasteland and a Strip Mine. So, and 4 Deathrite Shaman. So we do have tools. 5-card hand leading on Wasteland is interesting. I would suspect that means they might be on workshops. I don't have. See, another land here is worse than a blue spell, probably. I don't have basics in the deck because of the strain that Deathrite Shaman puts on. You want to have a tropical so you can activate the green part of Deathrite Shaman. You want to have Underground Seas so that you can play your Demonic Tutor and activate the black part. And then you obviously want a ton of Volcanic Islands to help you cast all of your stuff, especially Expressive Iteration. Yeah, Crucible Wasteland lock would be basically very bad for me. So let's not get Crucible Wasteland locked. Get rid of our Mental Misstep. Misstep shouldn't have any targets here. And even if it does, there will be very few of them. Well, thankfully, we had this fetch. That's another great card, too. That also triggers... So I think what we're going to do is play our Trop, fetch our most played land and Volk. Oh, okay, sure. That's interesting. I guess it prevents Gush. Get our most played land with Volk, and then we're gonna play our big threat. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probe instead of bobble. And the reason is probe will give me information on if they have like another crucible or something that needs to be countered. If something needs to be countered, then I can like play bobble, crack bobble, and hope to draw force. If something doesn't need to be countered, I'd rather hold the bobble and then make sure I can get another Shredder activation. It's going to be a little awkward. Like, we've been wastelanded. I don't get to loot before knowing what is in their hand. Okay, I mean, that's a very easy card to pitch because should be no targets for that. And also just makes my dude bigger. I like that. So they have Time Vault Academy, and I have another card to pitch next turn. All right, well, I mean, we're currently extremely far ahead unless my opponent draws a Manifold Key or an Urza Saga. Okay, they didn't draw either of those yet. And they didn't play the Time Vault, which I find interesting. I don't know what that's about. Another card to pitch. So this is unfortunate. I think what I'll do is I will bobble myself, figure out if the card I want on top is keepable, and then Strip Mine. Yeah, I think a Strip Mine is fine. I'll just Pyroblast the Stellarian Academy to get my Strip Mine. Up my thing to a 3/5. And then I think I want to do this because it prevents them casting a Golos. 1, I want this Ledger Shredder to be as fast as possible, and 2, it prevents them from casting Golos, so I think it makes sense to hit the Stellarian Academy. I don't have any... That's a pretty cool card to draw. Obviously, it would be better if I'd played a land... Oh, well, never mind. I don't mind this. This is technically a dead draw for them. They took an extra 2 damage for no reason. I do think it makes sense to bobble, even though I don't have... I mean, it's gonna... Yeah, I do want that. I think I just want to churn that bobble, even though I lose out on maybe a Ledger Shredder trigger with it on the next turn. from now, it looks like I'll probably play land Ponder and use Ponder to full power. Okay, they missed again. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty much just dodging a small selection of cards, and even a Saga is going to take a little while. I'd like to find like Time Walk Wasteland. I think just taking Time Walk and shuffling the rest away makes sense to me. I don't think I lose to... Maybe keeping the Wasteland is fine. Like, I don't lose to a Saga anymore. Wait, I do. I still need to cast 2 spells, right? All right, so I think I will probably... I mean, I can make this decision later. Whether or not the Wasteland is good. I'm 3 attacks away. So I think I would still need a... Well, no, I have a Time Walk, so I don't think I would need a Wasteland. They have their own Wasteland. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna crack away the Wasteland, and then we'll Time Walk, and then Expressive Iteration, and try to hit a 0 and win the game that way. I think you want to do Time Walk first, get the guaranteed, and then just try to get my 1 trigger. So will also let me play like land drop Ponder off of the Expressive Iteration. So I would draw for turn, and then I would draw, I would cast Expressive Iteration, and I would hit Ruby, and that would be lethal. Awesome. So that worked out exactly as I really wanted it to. So I like that. We have a lot of tools for this matchup, which is nice. We have, of course, Nature's Claim. Not sure about Lightning Bolt, but they might be on like 4 Revokers. I don't really want my Shaman to get revoked. We've got Energy Fluxes, Shattering Sprees, and Fatal Push. Let's see how many cards we can take out first. I don't want Pyroblasts, and I don't want Flusterstorms, and I don't want Misstep, and I don't really want like Probe or like all of these iterations. I probably don't want Merchant Scroll Dig. Kind of think that makes the most sense though. I typically find Dig can be kind of hard to cast in these matchups, and I think Probe has like enough value with Shredder that it's fine. I just want to take out some of the more high cost cards. I definitely think Expressive Iteration is not at its best here, but like obviously you take out these 5, and then the other 2 are kind of up for determination. I could keep this Flash creature. This looks fine. I'm okay with this. I think I consider this hand a trap. The reason is we have 1 land, no force. If my opponent spheres me, it's very hard for us to get value off of our baubles, and then very easy for us to get wastelanded out of the game. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. This is it's a bit better. We do have access to some removal. We have access to green. I'm gonna keep this hand and bottom the bolt. Might be a little weird, but I think I want to give myself access to top deck blue card to hold up negation for a second, sphere effect. Oh boy. That's not good. Or am I just getting God Pharaoh statued? Yeah. All right. Well, turn 1 God Pharaoh statue when I missed on a blue card is not going to be good for me. The good news is I have a fetch land. If I can rip another fetch land, then I can kill a God Pharaoh statue. Specifically like another fetch land, because that way I won't get wastelanded out of this. But, I mean, if they follow this up with a Golos, it's pretty hard for me to beat. Okay. Well, now things are getting weird. My opponent has lock pieces, but they don't seem to have a clock yet. I need at least 1 more land, if not 2 more lands. Because if my opponent's last thing is a Wasteland and I get Wastelanded here, that probably spells doom for me. Let's see what your last card is. Hopefully just a Mox. Let's see. Looks like a Mox, seeing as it's being hard time. Maybe it's a Chalice? Okay, it's a Crucible. So right now, Crucible is fine. So my opponent is doing the classic Golos prison thing, where they have all the prison pieces but no clock, and they're going to give me time to get out of it. I just need to hit a land this turn. I feel like I'm in great shape. Hit a land. Perfect. How does Replicate work? When you cast a spell, copy it for each time you paid its Replicate cost. Can't remember how that works exactly. It's possible I'm supposed to play Deathrite Shaman this turn. That might even make more sense than trying to get out from underneath this turn. Oh, I should not have fetched because I had access to an underground. Well, I had to fetch to play it. Never mind. I think what I'll do is get more red sources and get a Deathrite Shaman, and then next turn look for a Shattering Spree. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how this works. Oh, they drew a Strip Mine. That is about the worst thing that could have happened. That is about the worst possible thing that could have happened. Well, no, I guess I have a Deathrite Shaman to eat their Strip Mine, so it's not the end of the world. So I don't know if I'm allowed to like just replicate this 3 times. I guess we're gonna find out together. I just can't remember. It's been so long since I played this. Is it part of the cost? Well, the problem is the spell costs 2 more. If it was just Trinisphere, I might be able to triple spree, but if it's statue, I can't. So maybe what I should do is just kill the statue right now. I didn't want to do it right now, but I just can't remember. It's too early in the morning, I guess. All right, I still can't cast this negation, though I would really like to be able to. The good news is I ate the Strip Mine. Land? Problem. Well, let's see what happens with this Shattering Spree. At the very least, I'll kill this Trinisphere. And, okay, yeah, it does work the way I thought. Cool. Cool. So I played this actually correctly. I'm going to kill all of their stuff. That is nuts. I'm glad I still remember how to play Magic. It's always nice. Free Bauble. I know I could hold this for my Shredder, but I think it's better to just draw the card now. I want to just draw into... Maybe it's not better. Maybe it's better to play Shredder Bauble. I mean, there's a high likelihood I play this Deathrite Shaman, right? All right, so now my opponent can still draw Golos and be in decent shape. I'm just going to negate this. Because I don't want to get Wasteland locked out of this game. And this feels like a reasonable way to get Wasteland locked out of this game. Yeah, it was. All right, so I don't have a basic in my deck, which is definitely unfortunate. And made it so I think I played this game very well, which is nice. That's a good draw. So let's do... I'm going to do Expressive Iteration. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I've decided against that. I'm going to do Shredder Shaman. Like, I don't like that either. All right, whatever. I made a mistake, I think. I definitely don't like what I did. Anyways, I'm gonna go Shredder Shaman, and then I don't think this is good because I'm not really getting a lot out of this loot. Like if I keep, I guess it's still fine. Yeah, I think an Expressive Iteration should be better than a second Shredder here. Just to find us like a Murktide and finish the game. Honestly, our opponent had what the fuck? Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm going to just keep one Deathrite Shaman. Not this one. That's an annoying card, but I don't think at this point in the game it's a particularly good card. We don't have infinite activations of this death rate, which is something to keep in mind. We are running out of graveyard space here. All right, blue, red, broken, draw spell. This is what I'm saying, though. Deathrite Shaman really allows for this. So what I'll do is I will put Demonic Tutor in my hand, and I'll put Strip Mine into exile, and then I will put the Strip Mine in play, and I probably am just getting rid of this Tabernacle so I can continue playing Magic normally. So I'll just wait until their end step so that they don't, like, I don't know, Crucible or something. Second Tabernacle. They found Golos. This is something I could have prevented. Oh, they found Lodestone. Okay, that's fine. I was going to say, if it was a Crucible, or sorry, if it was a Golos, it was something I could have prevented by Wastelanding Workshop. I didn't really like that idea very much. If I had a second Wasteland, I could go for, like, both of the tombs and kill the Lodestone Golem, but I don't have that. So I think I'm just going to free up my mana, especially because my mana is now taxed by this Lodestone Golem. And then Expressive Iteration or Demonic Tutor. I could Demonic for... Could Demonic for Wasteland. Could Demonic for Ancestral. It might just be worse than Expressive Iterationing and trying to find a land and a blue card. Don't know if that's true. All right, I mean, those are very good cards as well. So I will put Lightning Bolt into my hand, and I will grab... I think it makes sense to just grab another Wasteland and put them off of Workshop. This is going to knock them off of Golos top decks and also make all of their mana painful. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't... I mean, Expressive Iteration has been absolutely sick this game, but I think the real card MVP is probably the Deathrite Shamans, like just having access to casting my spells. Though you could argue that the Shattering Spree killing their whole board, maybe. All the cards that I have in my deck have pulled a lot of weight in this game, which I like a lot. So if I hit a land drop... Okay, I got Dismembered. Well, that's not that big a deal. That cost them 6 life. If I hit a land drop, then this is fine. I'll just... All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bolt this Lodestone Golem, and I'm going to hold open Deathrite. Wait, I don't need to hold open Deathrite anymore because I have a blue... Okay, sweet. There's no taxing effects. I have blue cards. Attack my opponent. And I have a force for anything they could top deck that's not a Saga. Saga would be good here. Wasteland also not bad here. It's pretty annoying. I don't have very many lands in my deck. But I do have 2 damage a turn from my own graveyard. A Murktide would be quite good as well. Now I think I just Demonic for Ancestral. I think that just makes the most sense. It's possible I'm supposed to Demonic for Murktide just to finish the game. I'm just going to get Ancestral. It seems reasonable to me. Hey, look. A Murktide. Funny how that works out. All right, so now I have a clock. I have a counter spell. I have a Shattering Spree. My opponent has Ancient Tombs, and I am just firmly in control of this game. I like the way I played this game, to be perfectly honest. It was just a solid game. That would not be acceptable. I want this Murktide, thank you very much. It's unlikely they use it, but I kind of just want this game to end, and Murktide is definitely the best way to end this game. Yep. Yep. This. Back for this. I'm gonna leave open black. And go 2, 3, 4, 5. Eat 8 Murktide Region and a Deathrite activated ability. And I just F6 and I'm done with this game. Okay. Wow. That looked really, really promising. Obviously, my opponent kept a lock piece hand with no clock, and that is obviously one of the major flaws in my mind of the Golos Prison deck. It typically has the ability to lock you out, though not super consistently because of the restriction of Thorn. And Saga has helped a lot in that regard of like giving the Golos deck a clock, but obviously our opponent just didn't have Sagas there and didn't really have a way to counteract like the more powerful spells that I had in my deck. That was a really impressive showing from our deck from round 1, so hopefully it continues. Another one. Round 2. What do we got? Wasteland, Misstep, Scroll. I mean, this looks fine. This is going to cover a pretty large swath of the metagame. We've got Bazaar stuff, Workshop stuff, Blue stuff, and then we just go get an Ancestral. It's a little on the slow side, but I think this has very nice coverage. Opponent has mulligan to 5. All right. What you got from me, opponent? What kind of deck do you have? Wasteland. That is annoying. That is probably the worst outcome for me. Oh, we're still good here. All right. What else you got? What else you got? All right. Flooded Strand Wasteland deck. Maybe Bug. Now, am I supposed to just mental misstep this, or am I supposed to hold my lightning bolt for it? I think I'm just supposed to bolt it, right? And I think I'm supposed to bolt it. Well, I want to play around days, but I don't want to get negated. So I guess I'm just going to bolt it at end step. Okay. And then I'm going to wasteland that. Oh, let's probe them first. Show me your secrets. Ah, Renin 6 Oko. Okay, some Dazai stuff. I am going to try to keep them off of Renin 6. That would be bad for me. Definitely don't want them to have Wasteland Renin 6 this game. Oh, they drew another trop? Okay, all right, okay. I can get a Force of Will with this Merchant Scroll as well. I could also just draw Gasoline. Uh-oh. All right, if I draw a fetch land, I can cast Cruise. Not a fetch land. I am down to 1 Volcanic left in my deck, though. What do they draw? A Monkey. What if I told you no? Okay. I might just go get a Force, because I don't think I can win this game if my opponent resolves Renin 6. Like, if my opponent drew another land here and plays Renin 6, I need to force it. Yeah, wow, they drew exactly a green land. Okay. All right, so Crisis averted, and then I guess we want to just get rid of... We want to get rid of a balance because we want... I guess we have lands for our death, right? So we can get rid of lands and keep things for Murktide around. Wow, I bricked the shit out of this. Okay, all right. I mean, it's probably not a brick because I can force an Oko now. An Oko would also be annoying for me, but I guess I have Pyroblast in my deck. They drew another Renin 6. All right, well, I'm glad we drew Force. How many lands are left in my deck? I have a Volcanic, a Underground Sea. So maybe I'm just supposed to fetch so that I don't not have something to fetch. All right, I mean, that's a solid draw as well. Keep my opponent off of mana. What a game of Magic the Gathering. Everybody doesn't get to do everything. This is Ren's Mystic Sanctuary, sure. This is kind of the Deathrite Shaman world. This is kind of what happens. I'm going to hold this. No, I'm not. I'm just going to lay it out. That will be better in case I draw Expressive Iteration. So I mean, a Murktide should still be pretty good. My opponent still has a Oko in hand. I have much more mana, but I don't have any action. I have 3 Expressive Iterations in my deck. I want to hold the Ruby in case I have a Shredder. I guess I won't have any land. I want to have, oh my god, they hit Cruise. Okay, yeah. That's good, that's good. All right, I feel like I'm losing. The biggest reason is I had to force 2 things, so that was card disadvantage. But Expressive Iteration on time. Great. Blue-red iteration. See if it resolves. Nope, they have a Pyroblast, huh? Yeah, things are bad. Things are quite bad. I think my opponent just... I don't know, I resolved Cruise this game. Maybe I just drew too many lands. Like, I had to draw a lot of lands to get through their stuff. I guess I draw a Pyro here. Deathrite Shaman. Not great at this point in the game. I wonder if my opponent is on just... No, they're on Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, they're just on the Takahashi deck. Okay. I mean, I have very low life total. I'm probably just dead to this Oko. I think we just ran out of gas before they did. Oh, there's an Uro in their deck. Sure. Yeah, why not? That's not good for me either. I guess I have a Deathrite Shaman that can eat this Uro right now. So that's good. They have their own Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, I just drew not the right cards, I guess. It's weird because I felt like I had... I mean, I had to counter Renin 6. And I followed it up with a Cruise. So it's not like I didn't draw cards this game. I don't have a Hydroblast in my sideboard, which might be a mistake. Renin 6 seems like a really big issue for my deck. I don't know exactly how I'm beating a Renin 6 ever. Yeah, I might need to... I might need to have Hydroblasts. That could have been an overlooked thing here. Well, I think I want Push and Bolt. And I think I don't want... I don't know. My cards seem fine. I don't know. Baubles? I don't really know what I'm supposed to cut here. All of my cards look pretty good. Let's just take out Baubles, I guess. Man, this hand is not good. This hand is very good. All right, so I am gonna go Jet, Deathrite. I'm not gonna play. I guess it wouldn't matter. So I play a Volk maybe, but play around negation for sure. If my opponent wants to force this, so be it. Maybe I'm supposed to play fetch because if I draw another fetch, no, I don't know. Well, I mulliganed on the play, so I'm down cards. My opponent is down a card because of force, but we have too much mana. Do we have too much mana? Okay. So if I fetch here and I play a Lotus, is 8 mana? Okay. I mean, I'm just gonna get blasted. Oh, I should not have used all of that mana, I guess. Whatever. It's okay, I'm just getting pyroblasted anyways. I obviously I should have I didn't think I had that much mana. Wait, what? This is not a pyroblast, so I'm a little confused. Okay, so we do have a nice little Deathray Shaman Murktide combo. For example, if I draw Expressive Iteration, cast it, and eat it, then I can grow. Okay, this is going to be a Pyroblast. Okay, then. Pyroblast does not counter Pyroblast, which is unfortunate. At least we got in 4 damage. Yeah, crack, fetch, Pyroblast. Oh. Assassin's Trophy. So this isn't really a Utah list. This is a more strict, like strongly 4-color list. All right, well, I don't have a basic to go get. I don't know if you can play a basic in this deck. It's a little too stringent on color requirements. I think I am going to cast this, though. Okay. What do I do? I think I just keep... Maybe I wait till next turn. Play my land for turn, hold up Pyroblast, eat their thing, and then play Iteration next turn. That's not what I want to do. I mean, I have a clock. It's not the fastest clock, but it is a clock. I didn't want like my Express Federation to get countered. I don't get to eat a jet, and I can't hold up Pyro or something. Like if this is an Oko, I want to be able to pyro it, right? Fucking hell, man. Oh, never mind. Okay, I thought they were gonna hit my Volcanic, so maybe they don't have an Oko. Maybe they have something else. Because clearly they're not afraid of Pyroblast. Ah, Renin 6 Wasteland Lock. Okay. Well, I mean, I have a jet, so it's not like I can't keep activating my Death, right? And I can also eat their Wasteland next time. I'm probably supposed to just... Oh, they can't Pyro here, so that's good. Let's Expressive Iteration then. Could pay for it. I need to. Bolt Sapphire. All right, so I will take Bolt, and I will cast Sapphire. Sapphire is a not wastelandable blue source, which I like a lot. I'm probably still eating the Force of Will, but I guess I'll hold up and see maybe if I want to eat the Wasteland. I guess Fetch would have given me another Volcanic, which maybe is just better. But this lets me maybe not eat the Wasteland and then go for, like... Yeah, I think I just eat this Wasteland. Maybe that's not necessary. I'm gonna bolt them. Okay, 3 Deathrite activations. Another Deathrite Shaman. Can only activate 1 per turn because Underground Sea got wastelanded, but it does let me hold up Pyro. And also I can attack, so it's technically a 2-turn clock right now. Interesting. These games are so close. I resolved Ancestral this game, and I haven't felt super far ahead. Maybe just because of the mulligan into, like, 4 cards for a Murktide just to get it destroyed. Maybe I need to play Flusterstorm if my opponent is going to... Wow. Okay. Besage killing my Jet. Well, I still have double death, right? So I think it's fine. Though double death right is probably strip mine. Okay. Okay, all right, okay. I see you. I see you. Alright, I'm gonna do the 2 damage because I think it's better than stopping them from strip mine locking me at this point. I think I just have to win by attacking. And this is gonna be the best way to do that. Alright, so you can get back your strip mine, but I think my 2 squires should get there. Okay, I mean, dead draws, but you need to have double answer, and you can't fetch. Okay. These games are tough. I feel like I should bring in more flusters if my opponent is going to be, like, Assassin's Trophying me. Maybe, like, it feels weird to be cutting baubles, but... Like, maybe my Murktides are... I don't know. I feel like... Like, normally I'd want to cut things like Force in this matchup, but I just feel like a Ren and 6 is so unbeatable because I don't have any Hydroblasts. Like, how do I beat a Ren and 6? I just don't, right? Maybe a Shredder gets in. But how can I afford to play this many Flusterstorms? I really can't. I want all of my threats. I guess I'll try this. This doesn't feel right, but it's also, I just don't know what else to do. I don't know how to cut and add these cards without cutting Bobble. Like, this is a sick hand. Yeah, I like this hand. Turn 1 Deathrite Wasteland if they don't have a Deathrite of their own, or maybe turn 1 Shredder, depending on what their play is. Oh god, turn 1 Ren and 6. If it's turn 1 Ren and 6, then I can go Deathrite Fetch Land. Turn 1 Ren and 6 off of Emerald is like the most tilting thing ever. Okay, alright. What's a guy to do? I guess I could play both Deathrites. I don't know. It kind of feels better to just slam Shredder. I'm gonna slam Shredder. I feel like I could maybe kill if they don't have a Pyro. This is the problem. I really hate how bad Wasteland is when it, like, if Wasteland is bad, like, how good is my deck actually? All right, so the good news is I didn't get Wastelanded here. What's the bad news? Monkey. Wait, what? Sold. You got it. That's fine. Fair enough, fair enough. Time Walk, Ren and 6. It's definitely bad for me. They have Uro. Oh, they have Narset. Okay. This is just atrocious. My opponent has too much. They hit Ancestral off Narset. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is kind of the issue with playing a fair deck in Vintage, right? My opponent just had more power than I did, and I lost. I don't know. Feels bad, man. More restricted cards, better Magic player. It's a good one, though. That is definitely a good one. All right, so I have one card in yard. All right, I don't have any instance again. Maybe it doesn't matter. So I will have 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana, 5 mana, 6 mana, 7 mana. Cool. I guess I should do that first. So I don't get days. I don't think they have days at this point. Like, how do you fit a days in that deck? All right. I mean, this is what I have. Beat me. I don't like fair versus fair in Vintage. It doesn't feel... They hit Pyroblast off of Narset. It just doesn't feel like I have agency. Like in game 2, I guess I resolved Ancestral, so maybe they didn't have agency. I don't know. Is it getting vintaged? I guess it's getting vintaged. It just makes me sad. All right, I do think that my deck has a deck building issue in regards to Ren and 6. Though, how many Ren and 6 decks are in the format? Is it really a deck building issue, or is it just unlucky to be paired against a deck with Ren and 6? I don't really know if I have... Maybe I could play like a Spell Snare or a Hydroblast, or... It might be a Spell Snare. We might be in Spell Snare territory. Oh, I knocked that over and it didn't spill. Big W. Oh, cool. Mystic Sanctuary, Ancestral Recall. All right, well, I don't want to play this game anymore. I'm off it. My opponent has sufficiently outpowered me here. Don't know. Like, in game 3, I don't feel like I could have sequenced or done anything differently that would have let me win the game. In game 2, I resolved Ancestral, but I also think I had to sequence like very well to win the game. It didn't feel like it was a blowout like game 3. And then in game 1, I feel like we had the advantage in game 1, but we had I guess they drew a second Ren, which made us force 2 things, and then we never drew out of our land glut. But that could also be deck building. It's a little hard to say. Anyways, fair vintage. I'm back. Also, usually when I do a match and I don't know what I could have done better, I go back and watch. So I was reviewing my last round, and I think that maybe there was a opportunity in game 3 where I traded my Shredder for a Ren activation and a Ragavan. And it's possible that I need to high roll in that game to win. So maybe I'm supposed to let Ragavan hit me, hope it whiffs, and then try to use my Shredder as my way to establish control, like attacking the Ren in 6, and then maybe if my Shredder gets big enough to be a 3/5, kill the Narset. I don't even need to kill the Narset, just hitting the Narset and not letting the Narset find Pyroblast. I think it's possible. Like, obviously I have to let Ragavan hit me twice. Probably at least twice, but it's an option, right? That was actually a choice I made that maybe I could have made differently. I don't know if I should make it differently, but it's at least something to think about. Even in a game where I felt like I didn't have many choices, like that was definitely a choice that was made, a conscious choice that was made that could have been made differently. So always something to improve on and think about. This is a very easy... I think I'm going to play the Lotus out. No, I'm not going to play the Lotus out. I think I'm just going to slam Deathrite off of Underground Sea. All right, the Expressive Iteration, a solid draw, as it is a blue card to pitch to force. Depending on like what my opponent is up to, slamming a Murktide Regent could be quite profitable. Like if this is an Underground Sea, it's a Tundra, so it's a Stoneforge Mystic. It's a Lavinia. All right, well, I have to force Lavinia. I would be very punished for not playing my Black Lotus out. So the reason I don't want to play my Black Lotus out is like there are manners of or are a fairly large amount of cards that could maybe punish that. Wasn't really thinking about Lavinia, but so I have options. I like Wastelanding. I like, yeah, I don't think my Murktide needs to be like super large because my opponent can answer it with a swords at any value. So what I'm gonna do is, I guess I could still brainstorm. I'd lose out on some amount of fetch land value. That's interesting thought. Yeah, I guess I will. I lose out on some fetch land value, but I gain an additional power. Oh my god. Okay. So I guess what I do. What the hell do I do? So I can go Lotus Ancestral, and if they counter it, I could hard cast Negation. Or I could go Lotus, Murktide, upkeep Ancestral. It plays into Fluster, but doesn't play into Negation, and I can force. Okay, I think that is the best. Oh, wait, no, then I can't. I won't have enough mana. So then I think there's no reason not to just Ancestral. Because it's always going to be a card. Hell, I could even go Expressive Iteration into Murktide. That doesn't seem good. I'm like a little worried about getting Wastelanded if I put this too deep. So I think I'm going to go like, I can't do that. Maybe I just don't care about Negation and I just go Negation too deep, Expressive Iteration too deep, Slam Ancestral, Slam Murktide. I don't know if they play Daze, but I think I'm just going to hold Deathrite for Daze. All right, I mean, I ended up with a 6/6 Murktide here. If my opponent goes for swords, I have an answer. Wasteland, sure. That is totally fine. I feel like that is a losing play because you are currently getting smacked by a dragon. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Let's see what Bobble finds. Oh, I guess yeah, let's see what Bobble finds. Because then I could choose whether to hold up Negation or play Iteration. Oh. I think what I'm going to do is just... Oh, actually, there are no spells to eat. Huh. Okay, I think I made misplays there, but I'm just going to attack for 7. This is going to at least let my Murktide be a 3-turn clock with 2 attacks, and I get to hold open Negation, and with Daze backup, and I didn't want to like use Expressive Iteration because I wouldn't have been able to like play a land off of it, and I feel like that is something that's worth noting. I don't have a force right now. If they have Swords to Plowshares is another thing worth noting. But I really can't play around that. think I just have to cast my iteration, see what happens. If I get force, if I get swords, I get swords. Okay, this is fine. That's not the hugest deal. Also gives me 2 things to eat with my death rights. I don't have an underground sea, actually. No, I do have 1 more underground sea. Cool. Okay, so I don't think at this point it would make sense to not play by death right. So what I'm going to do is I will fetch and I will get my other underground sea and I'll play my death right. I still have a negation for their turn in case something crazy happens, but they kind of need swords. And I have it covered on their turn and on my turn now, so... Murktide is just such a fast clock. And when you draw Black Lotus every game, like me, apparently, you can really get in there. This is not a good kill white. Well, it has Mentor in it. I don't know if Sulfur Elemental is good enough just because of Mentor. Like this isn't affecting Stoneforge Mystic. I think I would rather just have Bolt and Push instead. I don't think this is a negation matchup. It's not like I have... The only reason I kept in negation last time is because of Renin 6. The mapping here just doesn't work out, though. Something needs to be done about the mapping. Like, if I want to bring these 2 in... Like, if I want to bring in another Flusterstorm, like, where am I taking cards out? I'm, like, super worried about that. I think we go 3 Fluster, 2 Bobble. I don't know. Like, taking Bobble out against a slow deck doesn't really make any sense. I'm not really sure the answer, but it is certainly a question. All right, double death right, no force, Mox in hand. Probably not good enough. This looks better. Just gonna get rid of this jet. Without a death right, I don't really think I need a jet. Or if I had a shredder, maybe I would keep a jet. Like what? Turn 1 underground or Tundra Brainstorm is not a common play. Not only can you lock yourself, but you also expose yourself to Wasteland. I don't think they saw any Wastelands last... No, they did. They definitely saw Wastelands because we Wastelanded... No, they Wastelanded. We might not have Wastelanded last game. What did they see? Deathrite Shaman? Like, once you see Deathrite Shaman, though, you should probably think it's going to be... All right, so they're just going to play Lotus Go. Nice all-access pass Lotus. Okay. I don't want to expose myself to Wasteland. I'm going to go Black Lotus. I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm not going to play my Brainstorm. I'm going to hold my Brainstorm for next turn where I can go Fetch Land, Tropical Island, Brainstorm. I want to play my Lotus out because I don't want to get Lavinia again. Good God. Oh, they're actually Bant. Interesting. So they're a Bant Stoneforge deck. Maybe Archon? It's not entirely clear if they're an Archon deck or not. So I think... don't really feel like this strip mine is good right now. My opponent has so much mana. I would rather play my land, which is going to let me brainstorm with a fetch and then figure out what I want to do. Like, it's possible I want to get rid of this strip mine. It's possible I want to get rid of this Fluster, but if Fluster pitches to Force, so that might not be true either. We've got a big play here. Oko. Okay, I mean, I can pay for a Fluster, so I'm just going to force Oko pitching Fluster. And then if they force back, I think that's okay. I don't really want to get rid of my card advantage spell. I think it's okay to get rid of Fluster here. I don't think the Fluster is going to matter too much. Like, if my opponent Flusters back and I have to pay with my Black Lotus, I don't think that's a huge deal. I feel like it's a reasonable use of Lotus. Okay, what else you got? The thing is, if I follow this up with an Ancestral, then it's... Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, what I don't want to do is brainstorm right now because my opponent will be able to fluster it for value. What I'm going to do is wait till my next turn, get some more cards in my hand, and then see what we have with this brainstorm. Maybe I'm supposed to crack Lotus to do this so that I can, well, I don't know. Because I'm probably casting Expressive Iteration this turn as well, unless like, I don't know, maybe I can't because of, I think they have Fluster is what I think. Okay, so they do have Fluster. All right, I will pay for this because it still leaves me in a place to Expressive Iteration right after, so. What I would really like to find is a Lightning Bolt or a Fatal Push to kill, or a Pyroblast to kill Jace. All right. My Strip Mine is better now, but I think it's more important to develop my... Oh, I don't actually need more mana, so maybe I'm just going to put back both lands. Fetch. I'm going to play this Expressive Iteration because I do want to kill this Jace before it flips or anything. Like, if I can hit a Bolt and then go, like, Ruby Strip Bolt, like, that seems very winning. I guess technically I can get dazed here. I guess technically I did get dazed here. I guess I should have played Ruby out first. That was quite poor. I'm going to just Strip Mine and pass because I think I want to be able to go Shredder, Ruby, Shred. So my opponent only has Flashback Brainstorm off of their Jace. Okay, so that was a really big misplay. I do know that like a deck like this would want to play some number of dazes. Probably still not more than 2. Probably likely it's 1, but I think I should have played around that one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is probably just plus. Yeah. This is the card they bounce back to their hand, right? No, that's the card I wastelanded. So they still have a Tundra in their hand. They just plussed on their Noble Hierarch. That's pretty funny. All right, so unfortunately now I have to play my Ruby to cast my Shredder, which means I'm not shredding. I can maybe shred next turn with this Probe. I'm going to hold the Probe for that reason. Definitely was not expecting to get... I don't know. I think all of that was just really bad by me. I don't know if I had any read on Daze. I guess Daze was turned off like for a long time by Tundra and stuff. This feels like a weird play. I feel like I would want to... Oh, they're just going to plus on Shredder. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Never mind. That's fine. Oh, do you have a 2... Oh, God, they have a Delve spell? All right, well, that makes tons of sense. Yeah, this game's like out of hand off of 1 Daze. 1 Daze kind of ruined this for me. I could have played around it too. That one's definitely user error. These decks are very punishing when you make one small mistake like that. It's still a winnable game. Like, we have all kinds of good stuff to draw. We have 4 Delve spells, Ancestral. There's a lot to like about what we have going on in our deck still. See what's in their hand, though. Oh, they are on Archon. They have Archon swords. So they actually have double swords, which means we are absolutely wrecked here. So they're going to go land Archon. I'm going to have to force Archon. And then they have double swords. They could also go swords. And then I can't actually Flusterstorm it either. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh, they're going to go for Archon. Interesting. All right, yeah, I guess I get to get a nice value here with a force. But unfortunately, I'm not making any progress on board, and they have an answer to my card. Think I need to draw Ancestral to get out of this game. Can't imagine, like, Ancestral, a Cruise, or a Dig are probably the only ways I'm getting out of this game. I probably might even get Jace emblemed. I haven't been Jace emblemed in a while, but that could happen this game. I guess technically my opponent can flash back a Dig Through time. That would require 1, 2, 3, 4, One, two, three, four, five, six, two more cards. So if they swords this and then play a fetch land, they could maybe dig. That's nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, they're one card away from flashing back Dig Through Time with Jace. I guess it's not technically flashback, but for all intents and purposes. All right, my opponent has one card in hand, though, so top deck Delve spell that is not a Murktide. I need to clarify that now. That's a good one. That is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for here. I think I'd rather another red source. That is exactly the kind of card we're looking for here. I'm going to play directly into anything on their side. There's no chance that I play around anything here. They just top decked one spell. If it's Fluster, it's Fluster. I will continue to cast spells. All right. So Jace is going to ultimate. I'm going to grab this expressive iteration. Sorry, I'm going to go Delta, Deathrite, iteration. Grab an iteration. All right, so next turn I have iteration into land drop. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of action now. I just don't know if it's enough action to beat this Jace. Because my opponent can flashback Deathrite, Dig Through Time if they want to. They have 4. They didn't actually choose to. Maybe they're looking to Jace Emblem. I don't think I would be looking to Jace Emblem here. I think I'd be looking to flashback Dig. Yeah, I would have flashback Dig. But maybe they have something else. Maybe they drew negation or something. Okay, so blue, red, expressive iteration. Mental misstep into hand. Not the worst, because there is a swords and a brainstorm. Fetch land into play, and then will I cast another one? Yeah, I think I will. I will probably fetch first. This definitely has an opportunity to lose value. But I think they don't have anything, so I want to cast it now. Maybe that's wrong. Okay. This is fine. Maybe I'm supposed to wait on that one. I am not the most patient control player, and I definitely was punished for it here. I guess not really. Like, I lost a land drop, but I don't actually have many more things to fetch, right? I have a volcanic left in my deck. So I think it's not that big a deal. Just picking the best of 3 for 3 mana is fine. If I had hit another like Deathrite Shaman or Bobble. Okay, so my opponent is going with the Jace plan. That is an interesting plan. I don't really think that's a good plan. Second Swords to Plowshares. All right, I'm gonna counter that. All right, my opponent milled a Cruise. They have a Wasteland for my red, maybe? I don't know if they're going to hit my green. Probably second red would be the best choice. The green is actually just for eating creatures, which is not the end of the world. But all right, so they did hit the red, which I like. My opponent's down to 1 card. I don't think Jace Emblem was the play. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Jace Emblem was just not a very good play. I think if you would flash back your spells, you would be in much better shape. I am going to just attack Jace, get him off the battlefield. They can't really block with this Hierarch because they need the green source. Okay, yeah, this doesn't seem like the right play to me. I am going to slam the dig. I'm going to take... I guess it doesn't matter too much what I take. Because there's a lot of everything, and there will always be a lot of everything because of this Jace. So I have Flusterstorm covered. Bolt. Waste. Could take Bolt, Waste, Bolt the Noble Hierarch, Waste a Tundra. I could take Bolt. I could take Bolt Deathrite. Those are a lot of choices. I kind of want to bolt this Noble Hierarch. I don't know if they have a Fluster as their last card. I don't think they do. What about, like, Bolt Wasteland? Just feels really strong, though, doesn't it? So I'm going to waste this Tundra, and then I'm going to go to the end step. That will let me play around Hardcast Negation. All right, so I mean, this locks them off of Archon, so I don't know. This looks good to me. Like, as long as they don't top deck Ancestral or Cruise here. All right, I have 18 cards in my deck. They have enough mana to Archon now, but I have a Pyro and a Deathrite and a Demonic Tutor. Oh my god, I tapped so badly, right? No, this is fine. Oh, I don't have any more Murktides left. I might die. I might die to this Jace Emblem if they just keep drawing spells. All right, this is my last creature, so... All right. I have to kill him from 20. I might not be able to do that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jace Emblem is the way to go here. I need him to hit some land drops, I guess. They hit Archon? Jeez. Like, this Ledger Shredder is not exactly going to help me. I guess I can't trigger my Shredder at this point anyways. Kind of need them to hit lands for, like, a long time, huh? Damn. All right, I mean, I have 2 Deathrite Shamans active, but I only have 10 cards, so 2 spells kills me. I think actually 1 spell might kill me, depending on how this goes. I mean, they can't attack. Looks like they whiffed this turn. I want to not cast any spells if possible, so that my opponent can't force anything. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to cast this Ledger Shredder. Is that possibly true? So if I don't cast anything and they only hit 1 spell, I can win. Okay, I don't think I'm supposed to cast this Ledger Shredder. I don't think it's going to increase the clock enough to be worth it if my opponent, like, has force or something. I don't know. This is going to be fairly close game. If I hit, like, Time Walk, I might win. Well, I don't even know if I'm allowed to cast Time Walk either. So I need 7 more activations. That's probably way too many, huh? The good news is they can't, like, play a spell and force it because of Archon. So, like, if they just draw all counters and I play no spells, then it's possible. Fatal Push is interesting. I would have to draw a fetch land. Okay. Oh my god, imagine I win this game. They just whiff on spells they can cast for a couple turns. No, they found something. Jeez, mills me to 3. I mean, there's no reason not to cash in this. So I can't counter back anyways. If I had a fetch land, then that would have been an opportunity to kill Archon. Unfortunately, they just need to draw any spell. And I don't have enough time. Wow, I really didn't think Jace Emblem would do it, but I guess the fact that Jace Emblem hit the second Murktide was the real issue here, right? If I had Demonic for Murktide, I feel like it's a very fast clock. I mean, technically, I can still beat them here, right? They just need to draw another land, and all, like, lands and counter spells, and I cast no spells. Oh, they found something. Huh. Damn. It was close. It was just the 2 Deathrite clock wasn't fast enough from 20. That's an interesting game of Magic the Gathering for sure. There's probably a million ways I could have played that differently to win. Maybe not. I tried really hard to find an answer to Jace. I had 2 Pyroblast at any point as well. Archon's kind of annoying with Shredder, huh? But I didn't want to draw cards anyways, so. Okay. I think a hand where I have the option to see my first card and I'm going for like a Wasteland Denial plan will work as long as they don't have like a Hierarch that I can't answer. I do think I want that. The problem is it's a little light on action for sure. It's definitely light on action. I'm just like, well, I guess if they have like Fetchland Go, it's not even that good. Or Basic Island. It's really hard to have Basic Island in this deck, I would think, but Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, I'm not sure I would. I mean, I don't know if you're supposed to bring in Soul Guide Lantern here. It's not like I'm all in on Murktide. It's a little hard to justify, but it's pretty good for my opponent because they have non-wastelandable, 2 non-wastelandable sources of mana, which is going to make my life very difficult. Like if they slam an Archon here, I can't even get a Wasteland in play and hit it. This is an Oko. I have Oko answered though. Thank God I have Oko answered. And I was hoping they would force back there and get a nice Flusterstorm going. I am currently, like, if I hit a Bobble, I would be able to play a Murktide this turn. Because I'm at 6 right now. But this is not bad either. Shredder with Flusterstorm up. And then next turn, Murktide, if they don't crack their Lantern. It's hard to play Lantern against Murktide. It doesn't cost very much to play this card. 7, it's kind of funny to say, but like 7 is a lot less than 8. You know, it's typical in Magic that like 2 is a lot more than 1. And it scales pretty fast as you go up. Like 4 is like a ton more than 3. So you can imagine maybe 7 is less than 8. All right, so I have the ability to play Murktide Regent. However, I can't hold open Flusterstorm back up, which I kind of want to do because I have exactly 7. So I'm just going to play this Wasteland and attack. Maybe that's greedy and my opponent hits this Soul Guide Lantern, but I think it's important that my last threat here is protected by Flusterstorm. Okay, so they actually did hit my graveyard. My opponent is on point today. I'm not even streaming. All right, I'm just going to fluster this then and try to build back up to this Murktide. Also, my opponent doesn't look like they have a lot of mana going on. See what? All right, no follow-up land. Okay, I like that. Expressive Iteration, Strip Mine is a fucked up draw, man. That is messed up. That is absolutely messed up. I have a 1/3 attacker, which is not great. However, I haven't hit any cantrips. I've hit all like counters and wastelands, which is not a bad thing. My opponent just needs to hit like a Noble Hierarch though, and their mana is fixed, right? So if I hit a fetch land, I can play a 4/4. Oh, they hit a Tundra. That's not bad. Swords. My opponent is going to be very sad. I don't know if there's any reason to do that now. Probably not. Maybe just plays around days. If they don't have they're going to be pretty sad that they use that swords. Well, I guess they're not going to be sad because I have not drawn fetch lands in this game. I actually drew 1 fetch land. I'm lying. All right, next turn I have a Murktide, but I don't have a protection from Force of Will, so they did hit the Noble Hierarch. Jeez. All right, how about a Bolt then? Let's take a Bolt. Another Wasteland. Yeah, I don't know. These cards have not panned out for me. Obviously, they've been okay, but like having a Wasteland-based draw against someone who had Island Emerald Noble Hierarch is just not working out. Unfortunately, this Noble Hierarch is going to give them access to second swords, and that is very bad for me. I wanted to have Flusterstorm back up for my Murktide the whole game, but I just was never able to really get it. The Soul Guide Lantern was good at slowing me down. It was a full card to slow me down, but maybe it works out. My opponent hit back-to-back land draws here without any cantripping. Not great. That's an Archon, though. We're currently outsizing an Archon. However, we can't use this Wasteland right away. Don't want to draw fetches now. All right, that's a good draw as well. It's not exactly a good draw because I don't have access to a black source. But I don't know. As long as my opponent doesn't draw swords, I feel like we're winning. Because I can't, if I had a black source right now, I could eat Ponder swords and grow my Murktide, and that would be real quick. Nope, they have sword. Oh, no, it's another Archon. That technically will block my Archon, so not good. Maybe a Jet is our best draw. It's pretty good, too. Expressive Iteration. What do I want out of that? Well, I guess Archon's pretty good against Expressive Iteration, huh? Man. Well, we don't want Treasure Cruise. I guess we'll take Ponder? Maybe we want... I can't activate my Shredder either, so... I guess I probably should put the... I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Alright, well, that's not great. So the board is pretty stable for them. I can't eat anything yet. They don't have anything going on really either, but like the minute they draw swords, they're pretty much winning. They draw Oko. Oko, not... Okay, that's fine. Again, that doesn't really do anything. I can't eat anything currently besides lands. That's not really helping me. So, like, Deathrite Shaman's a good draw. Jet's a good draw. Obviously, like, Bolt is a good draw. Fetch is fine. Fetch takes 2 turns, but I will eventually get what I need. So, do I want to take... Black Lotus Expressive Iteration? I don't think so. I mean, maybe. It's not bad. No, I have so many good cards in my deck. I have bolts and stuff. I think I don't want this. Got him. I've already played a spell this turn, so I can't do the attack. But next turn, I can attack and... Well... Maybe I just bolt after they play a spell, so it's uncounterable. And that's probably our best line. If they play a spell, obviously. I mean, how long can you keep top... Well, they kept top decking lands, so... So what would I be worried about if I go for the bolt combat trick? Oh, wow, they have a spell. Okay, so this is easy. Well, now I can actually do the bolt combat trick then. But I want to play... I want to play a spell on their turn and a spell on my turn, so I think I just bolt an Archon and then start getting in. Okay. Didn't actually find a spell on my turn, but... Alright, the clock is on. I have an Underground Sea coming on the end step. They're out of cards. This looks pretty good for me. If they draw swords, that's the one. But then I still have 4 Death Threat activations for victory. They drew swords. Ah, shit. All right, cool. Cool. Oh, I'm just saving time with some F6 value here. I mean, I have 25 life. They're gonna hit me for 6. Yeah, I think it's still a winning race for me. Technically, I could like hold back and fake blocking or something, but there's no point. Oh, there was a freaking Lavinia out when I thought about Black Lotus, right? Foiled again. All right, well, my opponent top decked the card they need after we top decked the card we needed, so my opponent hits me for 6 down to 13. Wow, I live with 1 life. I win this race by 1 life, I think. Glad I didn't fetch the second land here. Yeah, I'm currently going to win this race by 1. Oh my. Fatal Push is a pretty good one as well, except I don't have another black source, so... I mean, I guess I can technically fetch and get an Underground Sea, but I can't actually kill the Archon. I don't know if it matters. I don't think I want, like, a bad thing that could happen would be if I fetched and Fatal Pushed and they countered it. Where I'm currently winning on board, I would then no longer be winning on board. They need to draw like a creature and then a removal spell. I guess it's too late for a creature, so it just has to be a removal spell now. I don't know why I'm doing this now. Maybe it's fine, maybe it's not. All right, and now technically I could like double fetch and kill an Archon. It doesn't actually save any life though. All right, so they need to draw an answer to this Deathrite Shaman this turn or a Time Walk. One of the two. Crazy match. 7 minutes on each of our clocks. They could also draw a Soul Guide Lantern. I would then have to fetch and... I mean, that's crazy games. Crazy games. GG's. GG's. Wow. That one's an exciting fair matchup, I guess. Interesting games. I like that. Whoops. Stop. Forgot to start recording. We're okay. We're on turn 1. My opening hand was Deathrite Delta Jet. These 4 cards. We're up against Senpai, who I know is on Doomsday. When I kept this hand, not that I would mulligan this hand versus literally anything. Of course, Doomsday comes with your companion Black Lotus. Let's see what happens. I currently have 2 pieces of interaction that cost mana. So if my opponent goes for Black Lotus Doomsday, which that sounds like correct, I let it resolve, and then I can either Pyroblast the cantrip or Ancestral in response to whatever they're doing. But to find out what happens, my opponent was on the draw with a Street Wraith and a Black Lotus and a Doomsday. I'm like really feeling it's getting close to time to restrict Doomsday, man. I don't know. I understand. It's weird because it's just not played a lot. But I think people will start picking it up. It just feels like it's so good. And like the next best deck in the format is Hogak, and it's just an unwinnable matchup for Hogak. Quite tough. So I'm not sure. Like, I don't think it needs to be restricted, but I really would like it to be. So maybe too much personal bias. I'm pretty sick of it. Like, there's definitely a chance we win this game, right? Like, if my opponent has no cantrip, we go into the next turn with Ancestral Blast, and then maybe that's good enough. If my opponent has a cantrip but no counter spells, maybe we can Blast, or maybe we can Ancestral, depending on what's going on. I mean, they definitely have Lotus Oracle. They have Street Wraith. So if they put a Force of Will in their pile, then if they have a Force of Will in their pile, then Ancestral is bad. If they have a Force of Will in their hand, we can't win. If they have a Daze in their hand, we can't win. If they have a Daze in their pile, Ancestral is... I think it's just better to Pyroblast this. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is maybe I'm Merchant Scroll for a Force, and then try to win with Ancestral. I don't know if that's correct. Kind of wanted to hit a land drop. So I don't... All right. So now I can go to their next upkeep and cast Ancestral on them with Force and like paying for Fluster backup, and that should just be winning. Kind of a crazy... Oh. Yeah, they can't double Fluster my Ancestral, though, so... Oh, I don't have a land, though. Oh, no, I don't have a land. Yeah, but then if they go Black Lotus, Oracle, we would force the Black Lotus. You think they'll notice if I don't have a land in my yard? But they could just wait a turn, right? And then they could go on the next turn. I guess I should just let them play Black Lotus, go for the Ancestral, and then Ancestral gets flustered, and we force the Black Lotus. Fucking hell. Maybe I was supposed to play this differently. Like, if I Ancestral now, and they fluster it, and then they don't play Black Lotus, I will lose on the next turn to fluster with Black Lotus, so... Oh, they're just going to wait again? I mean, this is giving me an opportunity to draw land. So, I think this is good for me. Land? Second Force. Okay. So now, I think I Ancestral on their upkeep. Targeting them. They fluster it. So I can beat a fluster by paying and forcing. Oh, I could have beaten this last time by paying and forcing. Oh, they have a force of their own now. Oh, so did I mess up this game? Did I mess up this game? Yeah, I was supposed to beat the fluster last turn by forcing and paying. I'm so bad. I think I'm still winning unless they have a land or something. But I threw this game for sure. Ah, man. Yeah, I threw this game. It's so sad. I forgot that I could use my force as a counter a fluster and pay 1. Sad day, sad day, sad day. All right, well, let's see. If they have a land, they beat me here. But if they don't have a land, I win with Deathrite. Okay. I definitely should have played that game. Well, when did they draw that force? This last turn, right? Okay. Okay, so I just made a slight mistake there. Kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. So I'm gonna bring in Fluster, and I'm going to take out Lightning Bolt, and I don't know. An iteration seems slow, and we'll play with this. Deathrite Shaman, powerful card. It would have been a lot easier if I had just had a fetch land, right? Because I would have just paid. But I should have done it. I should have done it. It was just a mistake. Just a mistake. This has got a lot of counter magic versus Doomsday. Can't say that I would ever mulligan this. I also have a strip mine in case they fetch a basic. It's also worth noting that Senpai knew my list and that I was playing it, for whatever that's worth. So they should always fetch a basic here. Because we were talking about this deck in chat beforehand. I like bouncing my... I don't think this is worth misstepping. I like bouncing my control ideas off of Senpai, because Senpai is definitely a much more proficient control player than I am. And I would certainly classify this deck as some kind of tempo, mid-range control thing. All right, so what I'm going to do is take a peek at my opponent's card. Street Wraith. And I'm just going to strip mine this island. Obviously, you want to hit the black sources more than that, but I think just like using my strip mine there is probably just efficient. I don't think I want to summon to see my hand, though. It's kind of hard for me to make this play, but I think I have to, because I think giving Doomsday perfect information feels real bad. Don't think I would want that to happen, though they didn't have a land drop either. Well, shouldn't you cycle your Street Wraith then? No? Okay. No land drop. Maybe they're trying to play around Wasteland or something. I don't know. I think I'm actually at liberty here to play my Deathrite Shaman, which I don't know if I would always be. Like, sometimes you're going to have to hold up Flusterstorm here, but because my opponent didn't play a land drop, maybe they were waiting. Oh, wow. Are we dead with counter backup? Because I played my Deathrite Shaman? I've been played. I've been had. All right, well, if I had not played my Deathrite Shaman, I would not have lost this game, but I played my Deathrite Shaman, so if they have a counterspell for my Force of Will, then we lose, right? Yeah, so now they have Street Wraith Ancestral win. Damn. Okay. If the only reason they were able to get it in is because they had a Jet. I don't know. I think I'm always jamming Death right there. It feels like the opportunity to get Death right in. Like, they have to have a... Senpai and I are talking about how broken Doomsday is in chat. Apparently, this is their winning in for a trophy, and they will have gotten a trophy literally the first time they have ever played the deck. Rumors of Doomsday's being hard to play is just not very true. Canister wins the challenge with his first Doomsday stream. Senpai looking for a trophy. There's obviously a high skill ceiling to Doomsday. Like, playing around, like, building a pile that, like, beats my perspective hand in game one is, like, something Discover End can do and other Doomsday players can't, kind of thing. Yeah, so I guess Senpai didn't hold back a land. Senpai just held back a Jet and then top decked a Strand to kill me, which is fair. So just sandbagging the jet definitely put me off to or sandbagging the jet definitely made me feel like I could play the Deathrite Shaman when I wasn't allowed to. I mean, I think I am still supposed to play Deathrite Shaman. Like they have to have Jet, Lotus, or Sapphire, and I don't think that's like the most likely thing. It's a hand with nice counter magic again. Just need to find a efficient threat. See what we can do. My deck doesn't have the most proficient. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna keep that. My deck doesn't have the most efficient threats because they are all multiple mana. I feel bad. My opponent's gonna get strip mined again. This is like a pretty. I don't know. I really like pyroblasting this, but it could be wrong. There aren't like that many things you can hit with pyroblast. You can hit force and you can hit cantrips. And like if I'm going to go with a strip mine plan, I do like the idea of countering the preordain. Follow up Flooded Strand. Okay. And pass. All right. So like I said, I want to hit like fetch land and then a threat. That is just a major punish for fetching a red source and not playing a red source to start. I guess there was really no reason for me to play a fetch land when I could have played a volcanic if I'm looking at a pyroblast. So this is probably just my own fault there. Any fetch land that works too. I'm going to crack for black and play Cruise off of that. And then I'll play my Deathrite and I'll have one Fluster, one Negation up. Yeah, like I said, that's not great for me, but I don't want to. That's fine. I still think playing this Deathrite will absolutely be useful. And then I will be able to. I still have good counter magic here. If my opponent top deck tutors, I think we just let it happen. Oh. Okay, I'm also letting that happen. Don't think tapping out a Flusterstorm at this point in the game makes any sense to me. I definitely don't feel ahead, but I don't feel like I'm losing either, which is nice. I did just invest a lot of resources and get them 2 for 1 and 1 for 1, which is not good. And I don't have access to the green and black side of my deck, but the green and black side of my deck is not particularly large. It's just like more Deathrite Shamans. I'm definitely a blue-red deck at heart. Basically, it's a blue-red deck, but I'm using Deathrite Shaman as a way to make Expressive Iteration more castable. That's the kind of idea. All right, what do you got for me? Demonic Consultation. Uh-oh. If they have a Oracle, I can't counter it. So I have to Flusterstorm this under the assumption that they have an Oracle in their hand. That's so brutal. I guess theoretically I could negate it. That doesn't seem good though. What if I guess I could do this and then they're gonna pay for it and get a Doomsday? I think I just have to. I just don't. I can't like risk them having an Oracle, right? Feels bad, man. Feels real bad. So what they go for? They went for Doomsday, I assume. Yeah. So now they have a Doomsday. Did they lose any Oracles? No. They did lose Ancestral and Gush. A blue card here is still probably fine. I don't know if my opponent needs to be doing these kind of things when I don't have a clock. I will probably... Oh, that's a good card, huh? So do I counter Doomsday? I feel like I have to counter Doomsday. This has got to be not enough stuff. Okay. Okay. I guess I probably am supposed to. No, this is correct. I guess they would win with another fluster, or they only have one card left in their hand, so. All right, I got nothing. You have another Doomsday? Nope. Kind of a close game. I'm gonna hold that one. Like Expressive Iteration is my best draw for sure. Probably would play my land. Yeah, I don't want to get flustered, so I think what I'll do is I will play my land and play Demonic. Get wrecked by an opposition agent here. That'd be pretty brutal. Can't imagine I win the game if they have an opposition agent. They could also have a hard cast force, which is pretty good. Definitely not bad. Definitely wish this was a wasteland. I guess not really. Because of the Lotus, it makes it not as good to be a wasteland. Kind of interesting. Ah, okay. Well, if you have it, you have it. I don't think it matters. Tropical doesn't matter here either. I'm just going to get the second Underground Sea. Maybe they have like Fluster Days or something. Or maybe they're just trying to get me to tap out. So the question is... Okay, they have double Fluster? Sure. Wonder if they had a Fluster the other turn. I feel like if they had a Fluster, they could have gotten the Doomsday to resolve. Maybe they just drew Fluster. They drew Fluster into Doomsday? No, this is a dig through time. Well, that's worse for me. Oh, it's a Murktide. Okay. I don't think you're supposed to bring in Murktide in the matchup that has Pyroblasts, but might work out. I don't think this makes sense, but feels a little weird to bring in Murktide here. Might work out, though. This doesn't give me a lot of time, but I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to get rid of it. So, take our Ponder. All right, well, our own Murktide is good here. Pyroblast is good here. I mean, they could just have Hardcast Force at this point, but... Senpai thinks it's correct in grindy matchups. I think having your threat be Pyroblastable doesn't make any sense, but I'm probably having an emotional response. Oh, those cards suck. Let's try again. That one is certainly better. Those cards suck too. I feel like we drew way too many lands, but then if we didn't draw enough, Pyroblast is the next card down. All right, so Doomsday is just unbeatable. Doesn't matter if your pilot has never played the deck before. It doesn't matter if you have Pyroblast from Murktide region. It doesn't matter if you have 8 Fluster Storms. Doomsday, it can't be beat. Brutal. All right, last time into the breach. Hopefully not actually breach, because I don't know how good our deck does against breach. We might need Hydroblasts. I'm thinking about Spell Snare too. Feels like a format where Spell Snare is decent. Well, Spell Snare doesn't hit GAC, I guess. That's problematic. Am I getting Doomsday again? Oh, Deathrite Mirror. Well, not a great Deathrite Mirror. I'm giving my opponent access to an extra mana on turn 1. But I also think we're supposed to play our Deathrite so that we can blank theirs later. Another Deathrite Mirror. Now, ooh, nice. Will it be bug or will it be 4-color? No follow-up play. Interesting. All right, well, we blank each other's. I blank his death right, or their death right. I'm gonna just go with this. And that should keep them off mana for a second. Okay, do you have an Ancestral? You would have casted him. I feel like they would have casted in my upkeep, right? Maybe not. If they ever tap a death right here, which they're just not allowed to do, it'd be pretty good for me. They can tap a death right on my turn, though. I think I'll do it again. All right. Well, we are in an interesting place in life. I can't say I'm the most proficient Deathrite Mirror player. They are certainly a different kind of Magic game. There was definitely a time where I was playing Legacy with Grixis Delver and doing Deathrite Mirrors, and I wasn't bad at it. That's like my biggest GP fail, starting 10-0 with Grixis Delver. First time Grixis Delver player starts 10-0, and then all the wheels come off, you know? Be like that sometimes. Blue-green Tarmogoyf. All right, well, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to respond to that by playing literally anything. So I'm going to respond to that with an Ancestral Recall, because my opponent is tapped out. If they activate their Deathrite Shaman, then I eat their thing that they're trying to eat, and then I have Fluster, so... That's why I wanted to get this Deathrite down on turn 1. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm willing to force. Like, this Merchant Scroll is not very good anyways. I have Dig in my hand and Ancestral on the stack, so... Don't think that Merchant Scroll is doing anything for anybody. These are good Magic the Gathering cards. Okay. All right, so where are we going in life here? What are we doing? What are we seeing? What are we saying? I kind of like the idea of land Ruby Time Walk. And then maybe we dig or something. If my opponent wants to resolve an Ancestral here, I guess I'm going to let them, because I think it's worth it to get the 2 damage in. Maybe that's greedy. Don't know. Another death right. So I have dig with... Now I'm just gonna go with expressive iteration. I don't think dig is the right play. Oh, cool. Cool. Interesting. Do I want a force at this point in the game? Not really. I kind of just want both of these mana sources, maybe. So I get to play this. I get to play this. And then I get to play dig because I have a Fluster backup. I'm just going to get rid of making their Tarmogoyf very small. If my opponent wants to... If they have negation, then they have negation. And in that case, they would get negated, but they're out of cards. Maybe that would be bad. But I have double Deathrite against Tarmogoyf Deathrite, top deck Worm with more mana. And I have access to Expressive Iteration. I don't know. That might have been a little greedy now that I think about it for a second. I'm going to bring in Bolt Push, and I'm going to bring out Baubles, especially if they keep in any kind of oofs. I don't really think I want negation. I'd rather have another Fluster or something like that. We've played a lot of very similar boarding matchups today. No bizarre decks. This is an interesting hand. Probably keeping it, though. It's a little land heavy, but... Deathrite is a good play here. Every time I've played my deck and I've had Deathrite off of Jet, I've felt very happy about life. The Deathrite is really annoying here because I have triple Wasteland. But do they have Force? Oh. They do. They have Force, Brainstorm, Fluster. Yeah. Well, I don't really know how I'm winning this game. Don't know how we're winning this game. I kept a kind of a weak hand and then drew another Wasteland. Or did I draw Expressive Iteration? Did I keep 3 Wastelands? I don't know. Oh, I probed, right? So I drew Expressive Iteration, Wasteland. Expressive Iteration is a good draw, but it's not 100% a great draw against this. Interesting that my opponent is fetching instead of using Deathrite to make blue mana for fluff. Oh. Oh! What? Oh! They're not on Luris, so I didn't see a standstill coming. I guess, yeah, you have a Deathrite and a standstill. It's not a bad place to be. Well, I currently will have to break this standstill, but I'm not going to do it for a while, probably. I have so many lands to play. What are you going to do with a blue mana? Yeah, standstill in play, friend. Yeah, like I can take, 2 damage here and then a couple hits, like many hits for 1 before having to break this standstill. And my opponent will probably cap out on cards and I will have lands forever. So definitely makes sense to get as much value out of this standstill from my side. They didn't attack. Okay. Like, if I come out of this standstill with a extreme mana advantage, then feels good for me. They're doing the correct thing in keeping lands out of my yard, though, for what that's worth. I don't know if that's, like, much better than attacking. I drew every Wasteland? Yeah, I drew all 5 Wasteland effects. Interesting. Besiege you, sure. This is a moment where I kind of wish I had a Besiege you. I could just get out from underneath standstill with Beseiju. But I'm hoping I'd never cap on cards here. I just keep producing mana, and then they run out of lands, and we feel like we're in a good spot to break the standstill. They're already at 7, and we are only at 6, and we have a lot more lands. We don't have a lot of colorful lands, but damn, they hit a fetch land is pretty much the worst outcome. I can kill it, but I don't really want to kill it. They actually have drawn land for most turns because they had these 4 cards to start, If my opponent is not activated, I guess they can pitch spells and eat them. I guess I'm going to be pitching spells and eating them as well. All right. I think I'm going to cast spells here. I don't know the correct order of these spells, but I think it's time to cast spells. I'm going to acquire multiple red sources and then use my jet as a blue source. All right, so I'm going to go with Ledger Shredder, break their standstill, go to 10. I don't think me discarding is good. Maybe it's fine. Maybe I want to like push at end step, but I can't push. I guess I could. Yeah, I guess maybe I'm supposed to push this at end step, break their standstill, make them go to... Yeah, that was bad. Okay, that was bad. I should have just discarded one more turn, and then gone to their end step and pushed this to break it, and then they would have had way too many cards. Because now they just have free reign to force my whole board. I don't know why I messed this up. I've played versus standstill so many times at this point. I should really know how to do it, but we didn't figure that out in time. So what am I gonna do? Just gonna cast all my spells and hope it works out. That's what I've decided. Okay, this was bad. For anyone watching, this was not good play. I didn't realize I had an instant to break at end step. So that's what you want to do is when you both have 7, you can use your instant on their end step to break the standstill. So they'll go up to 10 cards and then they will have to discard back down to 7. So not a strong play from me. I made a mistake. I just wasn't thinking about it at the time, and I got punished for it pretty badly. So my opponent's already, back down to 7 cards. The good news is I have a lot going on for me still. What I think I'm going to start with is an expressive iteration because I haven't hit my land drop for turn. See if that baits anything. And then I can follow up with either walk or regent. If I hit a blue source on this expressive iteration, I can follow up with both. All right, so another force is out. I think I like time walk the most here. It's just gonna give me another full turn of action. All right. So I don't know if I like my opponent's use of their counter spells. However, I am a little short on colorful sources here. I don't have access to double time walk because I don't have a Snapcaster or a Mystic Sanctuary in my deck. It's definitely possible I could play a Mystic Sanctuary in this deck. I was trying out no Sanctuary first. I don't know how often you want a Sanctuary. It might be that you want to put a Sanctuary in your sideboard for these grindy matchups. There are a good number of grindy matchups, but you don't want it against like, oh god, you don't want it against like Bazaar and Shops. Probably don't want it. Maybe you want it against Shops. I don't know. It might be that there are enough matchups where you can board a Sanctuary. I might try that. I might try getting a Hydroblast and a Sanctuary. We'll talk about it after this game. I only have 2 blue sources, which makes my life fairly difficult. I kind of like... I mean, they're going to have lands after this, right? They're going to have lands after drawing 3 off of Standstill. I kind of think I'm going to Demonic for a counter spell and slam a Murktide. Because I think they're out of counters now. I guess they could have Assassin's Trophy or something. This could be, like, pretty greedy. We'll have to find out together, I guess. All right. Big Mercs. Okay. Black Lotus certainly fixes their mana shortage. Ren and 6. Yeah, that's fine. Did I know they had Ren and 6s in their deck? I think yeah, well, no, I thought they were a bug, right? In round 1? Thinking face. Uh-oh, besiege you. I don't know if I care about that either. They're down to 2 cards. Okay, so I think this game was misplayed by both players, if I had to be honest. Are they gonna go for an Assassin's Trophy? Because... Oh, sure. Because I don't like how I cracked their standstill, but I also don't like how they use their forces. I feel like they just use their forces and flusters on the first things they saw, and not whether or not like the card was actually good. Maybe like the Shredder would be good, but I'm not convinced that it is as good. Yeah, I'm just not really convinced that the cards they chose to counter were the correct cards. Like, I now have Forceful Misstep and a Murktide. I feel extremely far ahead. I guess. Yeah, they're done. I would say I played very poorly, and my opponent probably played like suboptimally. Um, it's hard for you as the opponent to know which spells that matter. And I could totally be wrong. I might have to go back and look at it myself. But like theoretically, if your opponent breaks your standstill and starts playing spells, they're going to play like the spells they want to get countered first, right? And I think some of the spells that they countered were less valuable. Like they countered a Shredder, but I got to resolve a Murktide. They countered was it an Expressive iteration or a Demonic or something? And then I got to resolve a Time Walk. Like they flustered a spell and I resolved a Time Walk, and they countered a Shredder and I resolved a Murktide. So it's like it feels like I got everything I wanted. The only thing is I would say that I played the sequence badly, where I should have broken on their end step. That was the only thing that was like that's a major thing, because you're limiting the number of cards they can use. Like if they end up using a Flusterstorm, like they can't really use a Flusterstorm because you have so much mana. So like I'm fatal pushing their Deathrite Shaman. If they force it, then you got rid of a force. If they don't force it, they have to pitch 3 cards to hand size, maybe even 4 cards to hand size. So they're probably going to force it. So you get a force out of the hand, you get 2 other cards out of their hand, then you go to your turn, and you have free reign with like 1 or 2 less cards than they already had. So it was just a poor sequencing. It's just a little thing you have to do when you play against Standstill. So yeah. All right. In terms of this deck, how do we feel about this deck? I think I like. I'm convinced that Deathrite Shaman is the way you can play Expressive Iteration. That vibes with me. I didn't really get to use Shredders as much as I wanted. I do think that this is the right number of Shredders and Murktides. Like 6 threats feels good to me. 6 threats plus 4 Deathrite feels like the number I'm looking for. I don't want to go for more Murktides because you are like indexing pretty heavily already with 4 Delve spells, and Deathrite does eat lands out of the yard. And you're not like playing Thought Scour or Consider or anything like that. You are just playing Baubles and Shredders. But however, we didn't really get to use the Shredders, so maybe that's part of the deal. I'm not convinced that this counter suite is the correct suite. I think it's maybe, I don't know. I want to have at least one of all of these cards because you are a Shredder deck and you can get rid of them if they're bad. That's why I want to have like at least 1 Fluster, at least 1 Bolt, at least 1 Pyro, at least 1 Negation. But after that, I'm not 100% sure where you want to go. I do think 4 Baubles is correct, even though we boarded Baubles out a lot. It's just because like all of our other cards were good at the matchups. Maybe that's not true. So what I'm going to do is I think we're really bad against red and 6. That became clear. And I think what I'm going to do is just get a Hydroblast going in our board. And I also think I'm going to put a Mystic Sanctuary in our board as like an additional way to play a longer game. To do this, I would like to cut the Sulfur Elemental, which was a little bit experimental, and maybe the second Flux. I'm not sure this is the greatest Flux deck. It is a Deathrite Shaman deck, so maybe it is a decent Flux deck. I don't want to go down to less than 4 Flusters if I can help it. Like, you can't really beat Doomsday without 4 Fluster. I like having access to 2 removals. I think this claim is like a little... It's a little dicey because it's not easy to cast, but it is a nice... Yeah, maybe we'll just do 1 Spree, 1 Claim, 2 Fluxes. And then pushes, bolts. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, I like this changes. Awesome. This is great. This was fun. This is like an idea I've been having for a while, and I just haven't gotten to try it with Shredder yet. I feel like Shredder Murktide overloading on a Pyroblast opponent seems like a very strong shell. I just didn't know where I wanted to build it. Like, typically with Shredder, you want to have off-color Moxen, but with Murktide, you don't really want to have off-color Moxen. You might still be able to play off-color Moxen here, because obviously Shredder pitches off-color Moxen for value. However, off-color Moxen, I guess like an Emerald plays for Deathrite, but it doesn't eat with Deathrite. It's possible like you're supposed to play Emerald but not Pearl. I could see that. I could see Emerald fitting in here as well. Like, I definitely want to play the Grixis ones, but don't know about Emerald, but maybe Emerald. The idea, like, that Deathrite Shaman lets you cast Expressive, it also lets you cast Shredder and hold up Fluster or Blast. So I think that Deathrite is the move to try to get these cards to be cast. Well, I think, like, off-color Moxen is the way to get Shredder, is the best way to get Shredder, but off-color Moxen are not very good with Expressive Iteration. So Deathrite Shaman helping both of these players cards be more like 1 mana cards instead of 2 mana cards, like 1.5 mana cards. I think that's the way to go. I'm pretty happy with this idea. I don't know if I'm the person who should take this idea and run with it. I feel like maybe a more control-based player would do better, but thank you for watching the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. I will do more things in the future. If you saw in the beginning of the video, I launched a Patreon at the request of a couple of the fans of this channel who wanted to support without having to have too much money go not to me. So Patreon is there as a way for you to support the channel in a more direct way. It is also a way for me to organize decklist donations. That is something that many people ask about. Will you play my deck on stream? Will you do this deck list? So for now, we're doing $30 once a month. You get to donate and pick a deck list, and I will look through it, make changes, get back to you and play your list. The rules are up there on the Patreon. I'm using the Patreon as a way to help me record who I've done and whose decks I played, whose decks I haven't played, and also to help limit the flow. That way, everyone can only do it once a month, and that way I don't get overloaded with decklist donations. So I will see you in the next video, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. See you then.